Hi, everybody, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be breaking down real estate law, what it is, why it matters, and how it protects you when you're buying, selling, or just owning property. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, you're an investor, or a real estate professional, understanding the basics of real estate law can really save you time, money, and some major legal headaches. Hi, I'm real estate broker and real estate attorney David Dowell. I've been working both as a broker and a real estate attorney here in Central Florida for many years. So I'm just going to talk to you today about the basics. You can, on your own, maybe dig in a little bit more specific in the future, but I just kind of want you to understand the role that real estate law plays in real estate. Now, first of all, what is real estate law? Well, it governs the buying, selling, leasing, for those of you who rent, and the use of land or buildings. It covers everything from how property is transferred, to how it can be developed, and even how it can be used. It's a mix of state and federal laws, mostly state, but most of the rules, as I said, do come from your state and local governments. At the core, real estate law, it ensures that the ownership of a piece of property is clear, and that the contracts from both sides are fair, and that everyone's rights are protected. Now, there are really five or six key areas of real estate law that I want to discuss briefly. Number one, property ownership and titles. This determines who legally owns a piece of land or building and ensures that ownership of property is recorded in your local county records. So if you ever want to know who owns a piece of property, go to your county records. Now, number two, contracts. From the purchase agreement to the leases that you sign when you're renting, real estate law, it makes sure that these documents are binding and they're enforceable. Hopefully they're not broken, but if they are, it provides you ways to enforce the provisions of these contracts. The third area is what I call land use and zoning. This regulates really what you can build on your land and how you can use the property, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. It's really important. If you go look around any city you live in, you'll see an area with all the commercial areas, an area with all single-family homes, some with condos. You'll see warehouses. This is zoning. You need to pay attention to it so you can know what you can do with your property. The next area is what I call financing and mortgages. This governs the lending process, and it's your rights as a borrower or a lender in this situation. Typically, everybody's going to sign a lot of documents when they purchase real estate. The most important being a note and mortgage. Promissory note being evidence that you borrow the money, you got to pay it back. The mortgage gives the lender a security interest in your property. So if you don't pay the note, they can take it back. Next area is what I call landlord-tenant law. This protects really both parties, landlord and tenant, in a rental relationship. It covers leases, evictions, security deposits, and all that stuff. All the rules are set. Next time you're going to rent a property, you'll see about an 8 or 10-page lease, but read through it all, folks. Look at it, see what it says. The final area is what I call closings and transfers. Now, this manages the legal steps when a property officially changes hands. Contract is signed. Several days later, you're going to have this closing, and this is where all the documents are signed, loans, documents, etc., to change ownership of the property. Now, why does all this matter? Well, real estate transactions often involve, I'd say hundreds or even thousands, sometimes millions of dollars. So without the proper legal protection, a small mistake can lead to huge, massive losses. For example, you can buy a home with an undisclosed lien. It could make you responsible for someone else's debt if you don't clear it up. A poorly written contract could void your sale. You got to make sure you're doing everything in that contract to confirm that the sale goes through. Violating zoning rules could halt the project mid-construction. I've had people who buy single-family homes in a beautiful HOA, and they later decide, well, they're going to build an addition. Well, not only are they going to have an issue with the HOA, but you could have issues with zoning laws if you're building separate structures and so on. So know all this stuff, guys. That's why many buyers, sellers, and investors work with real estate attorneys to review all the contracts, to clear titles, and to ensure compliance. I know it sounds simple. People buy and sell houses every day, but these are legal proceedings, and you've got to know the rules. So, real estate law, it sounds complex, but at its heart, it's about one thing. That's protecting property rights. It ensures that every transaction is legal, it's transparent, and that it's fair for both sides. So whether you're closing on your first home or you're managing investment properties, having a basic understanding, a legal guidance when needed, is the smartest move you can make. So guys, if you have any questions about real estate law, how it applies to you or your purchase, you need to dig into this a little bit more. You need to pay attention to every contract you're going to sign. There's going to be a lot of documents you're going to sign. But if you have more questions, feel free to reach out. There's no obligation. Shoot me an email, text, give me a call. See if I can help out. Until next time, take care and have a great day.